Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Rise and grind on this Thursday night football. We will live stream it later. When I get home, I'll set it all up. Good morning, everybody. Rise and grind. Game time, Brian. Game time, Brian. Otherwise known as the mailman. Going to deliver his appointed rounds in this brisk, cold weather on Thursday. We are back, and we are back with a bang. I guess that's what it is. I gotta put down my window so I could see with all the frog out here. It's a lot of frog, a lot of moisture in the air. Tell you, 40s in Vegas are way different than 40s on the East Coast, that's for sure. It's dry. This shit here is like moist to the bone. It chills you big time. But good morning, everybody. I kind of changed my mind on the NFC East Clash. Probably going to do it Saturday night. I know Phil normally does his show on Fridays. Or if Phil decides to do a show Saturday, I don't know. Maybe we'll do it Friday. Maybe we'll battle Mark. Because I just got caught up and I was just tired. I didn't want to do it last night. Still catching up to me, the Vegas thing. So I thought about doing it tonight, but we got Thursday night football. So it's either going to be Friday or Saturday. We'll do something. It's not going to be your traditional clash. But yeah, we'll definitely do something. But good morning, everybody. What to talk about? Well, people like to say hate week and all across the area. Again, Dallas, if they have any hopes of anything, they're going to win the game. The more desperate team is the Dallas Cowboys. I just believe that in my heart. Now, that doesn't mean Eagles just find a way to win. Speaking of winning, and we'll get way more talk about Eagles and Cowboys, but speaking of winning, Vegas, their latest odds to win the Super Bowl. Makes sense, it does. Again, it's a war of attrition. Who's healthy at the end of the year and who's playing good offensively and defensively. And the Los Angeles Rams are the odds-on favorite to win the Super Bowl with Matt Stafford, again, as the odds-on favorite to win Super Bowl MVP. As we talked before, you know how they like to give out the MVP to the offensive quarterback. They've always done that. Even when, like last year, it probably should have been Josh Sweat. Truth be told, it should have been that defense. Jalen played great, but money. If you got money, always put it on the quarterback. I don't know. Again, a lot of football. People are getting a little ahead of their skis. A lot of football, everybody. I do got the glasses ready. It's kind of sunny. I don't think the sun's going to be out long today. But I'm not really awake, so it's not too bad. It's not too bad. Now we're going to leave it. We'll even put on a little bit because between the sun and the glare, it's kind of bad. But the Rams are the odds-on favorite to win the Super Bowl. Put in the comments. Do you agree with that? Do you disagree with that? I mean, I think it's early yet. I think it's way too early. It's nice to listen. If I'm the Eagles, it's nice to have 8 wins. Eagles are ranked number 2 right now. If as far as the odds on, but I mean, it's nice to have the wins in the bank. But really, all that matters is how you're playing going into the playoffs. Eagles' defense is playing lights out right now. That's good. Can the offense catch up? There's a lot of scrutiny. What's going on in that locker room right now? A lot of scrutiny. The owner is not happy. He's happy with the 8 wins, but he's not happy with the quarterback. Do your homework. I'll leave it right there. Do your homework. The owner's not happy. He wants a big kumbaya moment, and Jalen's not giving him the kumbaya. He just wants to win. Kind of like Jordan. If you look back, a lot of Jordan's teammates, they respect him, but they didn't necessarily like him at the time. And that's where you get the Michael Jordan effect. My question to you is, can it work on a team with that many players, 11 on 11. Basketball, 5, it's a little different. At the end of the game, it's a lot easier for one player to take over and make the winning shot. In a team game like football, it's a lot harder. That is what will be the interesting point. That's the way Dallas can win the game. The way Dallas can win the game on Sunday is to limit Jalen's running ability. That'll be the key. Will my defensive coordinator play zone? You're going to have to play some zone. I'm not anti-zone, people. I'm anti-zone all the time. So, again, we have plenty of time to break down the game. But that's kind of what's going on right now. I mean, it is. Now, I was just watching. I finally got a chance to watch. I was up early this morning because I'm all whacked out. The replay of the Dallas Cowboys-Raiders game. Again, I understand. Going into the game, you heard everybody go, "Oh, yeah, Raiders have a chance." They always have a chance. Dallas isn't good enough to not give anybody a chance. At least it hasn't been. And early in the game, sure enough, Dallas was not quite ready to go at the jump. At least the first couple drives. And after that, they got it in gear. But I was watching the Manningcast, and I will tell you, I like watching the traditional, but watching the Manningcast, I always learn something. I always learn something. And I wonder if Primetime Phil knows about this or noticed this. I know we haven't talked about it. But Peyton Manning, who, very well respected, knowledge of the game, on the fly, in the game, audibles. He said he noticed Dak Prescott when he takes his 7-step drops. He's literally covering 10 or 11 yards. He's going 10 or 11 yards back. Here's the problem with that. It makes your tackles really struggle. It's like the wide 9. If anybody understands the wide 9, all that was is kicking out your defensive ends way out, creating an angle that the offensive linemen have a tough time to handle. Again, offensive linemen out in that kind of space against those athletes, you're going to get cooked. So Dak Prescott has been working on doing the 5-step drops and the 7, and then coming back into the pocket as hard as he can. Dak was finding himself going way too far back, making it easy for those defensive ends. Now, prime time, if you're watching, I need your thoughts. We'll talk about it on your channel this weekend, assuming you're doing a show. I texted you yesterday. You ghosted me. I know you're tired. We'll give you a little slack. You're running shit down there in South Florida. But very interesting. To the naked eye, I'm not noticing that. And for all, let's face it, the announcers, your regular everyday announcers, aren't bringing that up either. So that's a very astute comment. And you saw against the Raiders, right? You saw him being conscious. Dak, I was watching. You saw Dak dropping back. Peyton always said he hated to go back that far because it makes it too easy for the edge rushers. Way too easy. Maybe early in the game, you saw Dak held onto the ball a little too long, trying to make something happen. Can't have those turnovers down there. So, especially going into Eagle Week, where now Jalen Phillips, who's playing phenomenal right now, you got to be cognizant not to drop too far, because these edge rushers against 99% of the left and right tackles, given that depth, makes it easier on the edge rusher. You got to get back up into the pocket and make it easy for your linemen to fend it off. That's why Cooper Beebe's such a big deal. That's why Tyler Smith is such a big deal, and that's why Tyler Booker is such a big deal. So shout out to Peyton Manning for pointing that out. Dak's working on it, and you saw it on full display, albeit against the Raiders. So again, did not really realize that. That's my untrained eye from the quarterback position, but let's be honest, I didn't hear Romo say it. I didn't hear any of these other analysts say it. So give the Manningcast a shot, because you will learn some things. You're never too old to learn. As we move into the Eagle game, you know, now I'm reading on Pro Football Talk, go give it a gander, that the Pittsburgh Steelers effed up the George Pickens trade big time. They let their emotions in play, take over. Again, it probably should have been a second-round pick, but this whole malcontent thing, me and Rob A talked about it yesterday, Rob's as well. And I agree to some extent with what Rob's saying, that he's in a contract year, he's going to be a model citizen. I will come back at Rob and say, yes, I agree to a certain extent, because these players all have ADHD, ADD. They can't, I mean, George Pickens is trying to be a model citizen. Every game he gets an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. So he ain't trying that much, but I get what you're saying. In theory, you're right. That's why he's doing it. But you got to understand the frustration that was being had in Pittsburgh as well. Okay, you see an organization in Pittsburgh, everybody, Mike Tomlin, the fans might have wanted Mike Tomlin gone for years. Not every fan. There's some dummies out there, but he's been there way too long. He's overstayed his welcome in Pittsburgh, and I don't know. Mike Tomlin, what does he want? Right? What does he want? But yet he's able to keep his job. George Pickens went through crap quarterback after crap quarterback after crap quarterback after crap quarterback. You can say whatever you want about Dak Prescott. He's a hell of a leader, and he elevates the players around him. Now, he's struggled in postseason. Yes, he struggled against teams with above 500 records. Yeah, that's all fact. But there's still time to correct that narrative. It's going to happen this year? Probably not. They would have to go on a heater just based on who they've lost to. This is, to me, right now, it's not about this year. It's about going forward, in my opinion. Yeah, there's always a chance you could rattle off 6 wins and, you got the next 3 games you're going to tell me. You got to win 2 of the next 3, okay? You got to win 2 of the next 3, which starts with Philly. Arguably the best defense in the league right now. Arguably. So, starts there. And against Jalen Hurts, who I think we're in a better position now with the additions and with the return of Ravel and with the return of Malik Hooker. I'm excited for the game. At least I feel like we're on an equal playing field. We may not be as good as Philly. I think they had the edge at running back with the explosiveness of Barkley, even though he has not had a good year. It's a good year, like a great year compared to last year. So that's what's going to be interesting to talk about whenever we have the clash. I just need to be awake for it. So I was tired last night. So we'll stay tuned on the clash. But all the shit talking, keep running your mouth, because the game, we're just now getting started into the third quarter. So the game's always won in the fourth quarter. So in order to get to the fourth quarter with a chance, you got to beat the Eagles. It'll be interesting. I think the Eagles are a 3.5 point favorite. It's gone down. I know that. They were a 5.5 favorite just a couple weeks ago. So it's gone down for good reason. And as Jason Kelsey even stated during the Manning cast, dividends are paying off immediately with the additions of Logan Wilson, who had less snaps. Again, he's going to have the green dot. Kenneth Murray was better but obviously the obvious 1.5 sacks. Coming from Quinnen Williams, my guy. I predicted, me, Lou Branch. I did a month before it happened. How you doing? But so again, we could argue, but statistically, Quinnen Williams is the best defensive tackle this year in the NFL anyway. He's a stud, people. You saw what it did for Kenny Clark. You saw what it did for a lot of these guys. So, very, very excited about the future. The immediate future of this football team, especially going into next year. Very excited. So, don't forget, I will have the lunchtime chat live from the mail truck around 3:15 Eastern. Please have your bell notifications on. First day back, I am on the street. It's cold out here, people, but it's supposed to warm up a little for a week or so and then go back down into the 30s and the 40s. So, it sucks, but I've been doing it for 30 years. So, I don't know about the management thing. Stay tuned on that. You know, I got to work with competent people. I have to work with competent people. And if we have incompetent people surrounding me, I'd rather be on the street. So we're going to see how that, like, all that plays out. It's about, do you want to manage employees or do you want to have employees manage you? I like to manage employees. So, all right, I'll talk to you later. I don't want to be late. First day back. Talk to you. 3:15 live from the mail truck. Game Time Brian is back, baby. Go Cowboys.
Jerry, just remember, it's not a lie if you believe it.